Hello everyone and welcome. Today I'm going to go over the workflow I use when modeling airplanes using forms in Fusion 360. But first, this video is sponsored by PCBWay. PCBWay is your one-stop shop for rapid prototyping from 3D printing, CNC machining, sheet metal fabrication, injection molding, electronic PC board design, and manufacturing. PCBWay has globally competitive prices, and to get an instant quote for your project, sign up for an account and drag and drop your file. You will get an instant quote, and in 2 to 3 days, you'll get a firm quote. For your 3D printing needs or other rapid prototyping needs, check out PCBWay.com. All right, here we go. Now, the first thing I do is insert my pictures onto a canvas. So how I do that, just come up here to Insert, select Canvas. And I believe I have some blueprints on my desktop. So let's just take this A380, for example. Click that, open this. And what I do next is put it on the right plane here. Then I'll just drag this out here and click OK. Then I'll come over here to canvases and then change this to right. Click enter. Then I'll do the same thing for the front and the top. Insert, canvas, front. Or excuse me, not front, but insert from computer. Open. This is the plane. Drag this out a little and then go ahead and click OK. And I'll scale that too. Then we go with the top one, same thing. Insert, canvas, insert from my computer, open, and put this on this plane here. And all the planes on my site, this is how I did them. And click OK. Now we have our 3 pictures in here. We have the side, front, and top view. And if you have a back view to put in, that's fine also, or bottom also. And then what you need to do, well, not need to, what normally I do, I'll go over here and label these as front and top also. So this picture here, let's see, front. Change this to front. And change this to top. Okay, and we have all of those in here now. Next, what I do is scale these. So let's say I want this to be 2 meters long. I'll come over here to the right and click Calibrate. And I'll select this here to be 2 meters. Then I'll move this nose up to here. And you do the same thing with the front and the side as well. Okay. Then we'd normally would go to the top here. I didn't drag this out, so click on this and click Edit, and then drag this out. Then click OK, and then scale this or calibrate it as well. And make this 2 meters. But you can make this as long as you, whatever length that you want it to be, the airplane. And then I'll move this just like I did the front. Then click OK. And then we have the side and the top view in there. Then I'll go ahead and do the front here. Now, since I didn't drag that out either, to make that bigger, have to come back here and edit. And what I do here is go ahead and click OK. Now, when I scale the front picture, I'll put a sketch on this top plane here. Create a sketch. Then I'll draw a line from here to here. And change that to just a construction line. Then finish sketch. Now you can do this next step one of two ways. You can measure this line here. You can measure this line here and the length of it when you come over here to the front. You would just scale this picture where the length of this wingspan is the same as from here to here. But since drew a line here, you can also come to the front over here and edit canvas and move the airplane down and drag this out till the wingspan is equal to the length of that line. Now, it's probably easier just to measure the line, and that's pretty much close. So we just put that there and click OK. Okay, now we have our pictures onto the canvases in, and that's what you're going to do with any picture that you put in here on the canvases that you're going to model from. Next, what I do, now since this fuselage here is cylinder, what I do is come up here to create form, and I'll select a cylinder. And I want to put the cylinder on this plane here, the front plane, and then I'll select the center point between here and here. Then I'll drag this to the length of the fuselage, and I'll add more height faces also within here. Then, so I'll have the fuselage. Then the next thing what I'll do is start shaping this to match this fuselage here. Now, dependent on the shape of the fuselage, like up here, sometimes I'll use, say, just one shape, or sometimes I'll have this split and do this nose separate and do the tail separate back here too. And you just move the points around here to get this model to the shape of here. Then the next thing what I normally do is the tail section here. Let me turn off this body here. Change this name to fuselage. and I'll turn that off. Then the next is, like I said, is this vertical stab. And the vertical stab, what you do, I'll create a sketch on this plane here, the center plane. So I'll click that plane and then create a sketch on it. Then I will draw a line or sketch a line. So this here, I would just imagine this being curved here, coming down through here, the length of it, and all the way back here. Just like that. And then I would go ahead and finish that sketch. And then I would put, next, I would put in a plane at an angle. So I'd come up there, construct, plane at an angle, and use this. Now this needs to be 90 degrees, so change this to 90. And you would just go ahead and click OK. Then from here, you would create a sketch on this plane here. And if you had an airfoil for this, a picture of this, you would insert a canvas onto this plane that we're creating a sketch on, and you would trace it, the length of it between here and here. Then you just go ahead and you would trace it. But since I don't have one, this is just an arbitrary, again. Then I would just mirror this. Actually, first I would throw a line here. Then I would mirror this line here. And that's that. Then finish a sketch here. Then I would draw, create a sketch on this plane here. And use a fit point spline here. And then use a line from here. From there, then finish sketch. Now, like I said, this particular workflow, I use this for, so far I've used this for every model I've done on my channel. Then you'd come over here to create, and I'm going to use a sweep. Then you would change this to path plus guide rail over here, and then change this to full extent. Then you select the two profiles. Then the path, the front here, and a guide rail will be the back here. And you go ahead and click OK. And there's our tail on this. Now I didn't shape the fuselage here because I'm just giving you my workflow that I use. But this is exactly how I would do this model too. Now, believe it or not, the wings and the horizontal stabilizers are done the exact same way as I did this tail back here. And I've changed this to vertical stab. And turn these two off here. Now, the wing here, what you do there, just like I said, it's the same way that I did here. I would create a sketch on this plane here. and then use a line and start somewhere around here and bring this back to somewhere about here. Then you will just look at the top here, and you want this here to come up into here. So imagine the line just coming over here. So I move this up, and this line here, just imagine it coming up here a little more. And that's about right. Then again, I'm going to use an arbitrary airfoil just like the back one. But if you had a picture of an airfoil, you would just use a canvas and put it in here and just trace it. And just going to mirror this. And finish sketch. Next again, we're going to use a plane and angle. Use this line here and look at this from the front. And you want this to match the angle of the wing here. And coming up through here 10 degrees looks like it's a bit much, so let's go to -8. And that's 2, not enough, so 9. And that looks about right, so we just go ahead and leave that there and click OK. And like I said, if you notice, this is that vertical stab was done the same way, except it's just vertical, that's all. And I'm going to create a sketch on this plane here. And use the line. And another line up front. And go ahead and finish sketch. And use a sweep again. You're going to use these two profiles here. And the path is going to be this front line, and the guide rail is going to be this back line. And click OK. Now we look at this from the front, and as you can see, that's matching just perfect in there. And that is pretty much it for a workflow. Fuselage, tail, wing, and the horizontal stabilizer back here. So if I were going to do the horizontal stabilizer here back here, again, create a sketch on this plane here. Again, use a line here, there, and look at this from the top. Turn these other sketches off. Then look at this from the top, and we want this, again, a little more forward here. So just imagine this being this line here extending out here. And this line back here comes into right here. And we'll do the same thing. Put an airfoil here. Sort of wonky, but no worries. We'll straighten that out. Okay. And click OK. And again, we'll go ahead and finish. And again, we'll do a construction, a plane at an angle on this center line here. And look at this in the front. And we can see this goes up a little. Okay, that looks good for now. And we go ahead and click OK. And we'll create a sketch on this plane here. And we'll use line. And another line. Oops. And go ahead and finish sketch. And again, we'll use a sweep. This is the path. This is the guide rail. And click OK. Now we'll look at this from the front. Now, this is high. So we need to bring this down, which is this body 4 here. And we'll move copy. And we'll move it down a little more. Then click OK. Now we have our horizontal stab and a wing. And change the name of this to wing. And this to horizontal. And we have all that in there now. Okay. Now, I would only model one wing and one horizontal stab because what you do is just mirror these. So what you do is work on one side only. Then, because what you do to this wing, you don't want to have to go over here and do it to this wing as well. So you only work on one wing and then you mirror it over here. So then you mirror this after you have your wing done. And I keep them separate too. I keep them separate just to make sure that if I do something on the wing over here, that I can still do it on this side of the wing also. And the same thing with the horizontal stab back here. Now, this workflow works for, I've used this workflow for every model on my page. Let's start another project here. And I come up here, insert, canvas. Let's say, take a look at another model here. Let's go with the BD5 here. Actually, the F100 is fine too. Okay. And again, you would click this plane, drag this out, then click OK. And you would, at the top and a front plane, same thing. Then you will calibrate them. Then, from the front view, well, again, since this is sort of roundish in the back and sort of squarish in the front, I would just go ahead and use a cylinder on this plane here. Now, I didn't put any pictures in, but I've just shown you guys that this workflow is the same for whatever model I decide to do. And let me cancel this for a second and finish this. After you calibrate this, then you want to move the canvas here. And I didn't do that, but okay, let's just say after everything's calibrated, now I'm going to move this down to here. And the same thing from the front and the top. Now this time, I'll go to create form, and I'm going to use a cylinder. It's going to be on this plane here. And the center point, again, since I don't have a front view, I'm just guessing it's going to be right here. Then drag this back. Again, add more height faces. Then click OK. Okay. Looks like I'm going to do some service on Fusion. But anyway, then you would shape all this to get the shape of this fuselage, like we did with the other plane. Then again, you would draw your line down here. Then you would do your offset plane. Again. Then you would put your airfoil on the top. Then draw the lines up here just like we did with the A380. And same thing with everything here. And the only thing different that the workflow is the actual modeling of the airplane itself, the fuselage, the wings, the vertical, horizontal stab. They're all the same. The only thing different would be like the wheels and the struts and everything, other little details of it. But the, like I said, the wings, fuselage, vertical, and the horizontal stabs are all done the same. And there may be a little different workflow. Again, like this F100, this is two pieces here. Instead of, like on the A380, I would have done that all as one. But this here, since I'm looking at this will have to be done in two pieces. That's the only difference in workflow on this. So you would do an offset plane here, and then you would do a cylinder on this right here, and then stretch it back here to do the top of this, to get this. But I think I've showed you guys how to model this F100. So if you want to model it and understand that just a little more what I just had said there, go take a look at my video on the F100, and you'll probably see that I did that in two pieces. But anyway, that's going to do it for this video. I just want to show you guys the workflow that I use for pretty much on every airplane I've modeled on my channel. The only difference, things that I haven't done for different airplanes, would be like with my surface modeling. The flow It's the inserting the canvas is the same, but I would insert planes so I can create sketches on the planes of the formers and stuff like that. I will do the surface lofting. So yeah, but anyway, that's going to do it for this video. And if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them down in the comments. And if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button as well. Also, if you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and watch some of my other videos. And yeah, I also invite you to join my Patreon group and my Facebook group. Both are called CAD Build Fly RC. Go over there and have a look and ask questions if you have them. And yeah, so that's going to do it for this video, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Subscribe for more.